My name is Dr. Charles Freeman, and I'm here to I have the pleasure of introducing Humo Technologies, which is a startup company out of Mississippi State University that looks at improving human performance and reducing injury built from the ground up. So I'm going to start off with a story about a group of interdisciplinary researchers at Mississippi State. Now, don't fall asleep yet, all right? It's an interesting story. We started in 2017, and this group got together with the goal of solving the problem of reducing injuries and improving performance in collegiate sports and with athletes. And so over the next 5 years, our team has researched and validated more than 50 different hardware and software solutions for private industry, sanctioning bodies, as well as the US government. In addition, we also worked at developing prototypes for these organizations in the areas of collegiate and professional sports, telehealth and medicine, workforce development, as well as for the United States Air Force. In late 2021, the team decided to look at some of the solutions that we have and explore the possibility for commercialization. During this time, one of the founders, Dr. Tony Luchak, who has more than 30 years experience as a professional golfer, golf instructor, and one of the leading golf data scientists in the country, brought to us an industry that you guys kind of get a feel where this is going, but brought to us an industry that suffers more than 10,000 lower body injuries every single day, which is more than rugby and hockey combined. And now, when he mentioned the word golf and injury, my first thought was, I don't know what kind of golf you're playing, Tony, but how are you getting injured playing golf? And what we find is that practice doesn't necessarily make perfect. What practice does is it makes it permanent. And poor swing mechanics that are occurring over time, 5, 10, 20 years, are leading to significant lower body injuries that are being reported in more than 40% of the 24 million golfers that are in the United States every year. So with this information, we went out and we interviewed 130 strength and conditioning coaches and instructors and asked them, how can we prevent lower body injury? And they said they need 5 key pieces of information. They need weight and pressure. They need symmetry and asymmetry. They need speed of pressure shift. They need gait, walking distance, and they also need acceleration. And you can collect all of that information from the foot and what's happening. If they have those 5 key pieces of information, they can actually take and work with players to prevent injury in the ankle, the knee, the hip, and the lower back. So from here, we decided to launch and commercialize the Humo golf swing system, and we've kind of nicknamed it the GS2. So the Humo golf swing system includes a micro golf swing analyzer that is paired with a comfort performance sock that has soft robotic sensors integrated into the materials, and it collects thousands of data points every single time you take a golf swing. And all of these data points and all of this information is transmitted via Bluetooth to a smartphone device that is also capturing video during the swing. And this smartphone device, then, we take all that data and we plug it into our AI and machine learning software and coaching algorithms, and we provide real-time live feedback for a player to not only improve their swing and mechanics, which is going to definitely lower the score a little bit, but also to help reduce the number of injuries that they could be suffering when they're shifting weight back and forth. So this proprietary software system was launched in partnership with Mississippi State University as well as the GS2 system. We currently have a patent pending on both the hardware, and we have a patent pending for the software design and development as well. And this software system that a user has, once they put the socks on and they've linked it and hooked it into the software, the GS2 will then allow golfers to learn from their poor swing habits, receive auditory biofeedback guidance on how to synchronize their golf swing, to reduce strain in the lower back, and improve their overall ball striking. So through voice and touch activated communication with the app, the GS2 will allow golfers to track and record their on-course rounds, choose to train on the range, or even hit a couple of balls in the backyard. The GS2 will also collect golf swing pressure traces and geolocate shot patterns during the round. And afterwards, on-course trends and analysis will be provided to the golfer. Swing tendencies will be saved for future AI-driven training. On the range, the GS2 will provide information and guidance in near real time to golfers, allowing them to understand the feel and causes of their poor shots. And computer vision tracking and pressure data will be used to present new movement patterns and timings that are going to generate efficient and powerful golf swings while reducing overall physical strain. So the GS2 is going to be a revolutionary self-training delivery system, and will really redefine the way that we instruct players on how to improve their score and reduce injury in golf. In addition to the hardware, again with the proprietary software that you just saw a demonstration for, we will have 2 levels of subscription that will be available for our subscribers and golfers. We have the base level at $5 a month that will give you a lot of the same information and produce some 2D video capture data for you on your swing. The mini tour level at $15 a month will also provide the base features, but then also give you that velocity acceleration data, the real-time live video capture of your swing, and provide AI-driven coaching feedback. Whether you choose to link up synchronously with a live coach or you choose to do it asynchronously through the software application. So there are other applications out there that do something similar. One of the more popular ones is a very rigid, hard insole that you have to cut yourself and put into your shoe. It provides a lot of the same data, but as you see with the data, it's really missing a lot of the coaching aspects of it. They're pre-programmed coaching, so they're not really learning from you as an individual. They're just taking it overall in general. Or you could go with the other option that's the $10,000 to $25,000 pressure mats that we often see in golf simulators and in golf clubhouses and things like that will give you a lot of the same information. But again, you have to work directly with a swing coach in order to improve your swing and reduce injury. So we plan to launch the GS2 at a retail price of $159. This will include the micro swing analyzer, the performance sock, as well as a charging cradle for both of the swing analyzers, and we'll give you access to 3 months of the mini tour subscription for golfers to test it out and try it and see what they think. Now the socks are washable for up to 50 wash cycles, and golfers and participants will have the chance to replace those socks. You can purchase those easily. And then those socks integrate seamlessly into the hardware as well as the software solution without any updates or things needed. As you see, the gross margin we're looking at is right around 65% for the individual units for the hardware piece, and our software components are right around between 80 and 85% on our gross margin. Our plan in 2023 in partnerships that Dr. Luchak has with the PGA is to debut this product at the PGA Equipment Show in January, as well as the demo days that are occurring there. We'll begin to take pre-orders for the product in November and December for this launch in January. We're hoping to get this into the hands of about 10,000 golfers in this first year, which sounds like a lot, but that's also less than 40% of the golfers in Mississippi alone. So when we talk about really pushing this out there on a national scale, we can really scale this and grow this fairly quickly. Again, we'll be rolling out the base subscription model with that 3-month free that you'll have access to. Within year 2, we hope to anticipate getting into the hands of about 32,000 golfers, which would represent around 10% of the regional market that you see here in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana. We will be looking at becoming cash flow positive right around the start of 2024 based upon the needs that we have. And with this, as you see, we see this little small dip, a lot of that investment needed. We're going to talk about that in a second, but it's going to be looking at inventory as well as fleshing out that user experience and that user interface that we have. So our funding overview to date, we have received proof of concept funding. We have a working prototype that we can show you today. And then we also have an alpha version of our software that we have developed. And so we've been working on that. We are seeking a $500,000 raise for the commercialization of our final inventory production. We've been working with CM Solutions out of Carthage to help develop the design, the engineering design for manufacturing, keep our costs low. And then we're going to be looking at developing the front-end software and that user application and really the user interface that we're going to see with that. We've also submitted for an SBIR funding for $245K to assist us in not only pushing this into the market, but to also enable us to begin the prototyping and the work for Gen 2 of what the GS2 system is going to be looking like. And that next generation we're going to see is that we plan to launch, we can take the same hardware technology we have that pairs with the software, and we can easily integrate that into things like golf gloves. We can put the same hardware and software into the golf grips. We can put it into belts, hats, and any other thing that a golfer would typically wear on the course. It's going to fully integrate and collect even more information. You're going to provide them with even an augmented a VR and AR type of experience that you can even practice in your office if you don't necessarily want to go out and play on the range. So in summary, the GS2 will have a retail price for the total package of around $159. Again, it's going to include that 3-month mini tour subscription. You'll also have the monthly subscription models in the Humo Digital Golf Academy, which will give you access to not only the AI machine learning capabilities that come with this, but will also provide you with access to our Golf Academy, which is led by Dr. Luchak, which has millions of hits on YouTube right now, to give you some additional instructional videos. And we are seeking $500,000 for this commercialization of the user interface and software, as well as developing and building out inventory for pre-orders that are going to be needed. So with that, I will open it up for questions.
I'm interested to know if your SOC will provide visual data or compete with those devices that are out in the market now that have launch angle, spin, distance control, or is this just something that's going to give you some information that will prevent injury, as you said, which I see the bigger demand is going to be for golfers who want to hone in their swing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I hate paying for lunch for the guys I play golf with. I play golf and I'm not a very good golfer and I always lose. And so I really just want to get better so I can beat them, right? And so if I don't injure myself, that's a plus. Well, we will be incorporating a lot of that information. And with the video capture, so if you're on the range, you would set your tablet up. It's going to be filming and videoing you while you're swinging. And all of that information, not only what's coming from the SOC, but the video is going to be integrated and overlaid to give you that direct information and feedback. So you're going to see launch velocity, angles, and everything else. It'll be able to improve that score. You can stop those in real time. So you can be on the range and say, Siri, start my training, make 10 drives. You hit your 10 drives, you stop, and it's going to give you that immediate feedback on that and say, you know, in your backswing, you need to slow down the shift of weight. The example I give is that I went to I did one golf lesson, and the guy's like, I have a wicked slice. Like it is beautiful in some cases, as long as it goes right, the course. And so he said, you know, you need to reduce your torque when you're coming through with your hips and work to bring your shoulders down to not swing as much with your arms on the point of impact and bring the impact up through that. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I have no idea what that meant. But if I have something that says, and when I talked to Dr. Luchak about it, he's like, you're just shifting your weight too fast. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, just slow down when you go from the back foot to the front, your lead foot. I'm like, I did that one thing. It was like, it straightened it out. I'm like, well, I wish I would have known that a long time ago. And so we will be able to provide a lot of that data and information for you in real time for the golfers.
But keep talking about that. I mean, what exactly is, who is going to do the analysis of the swing? It's one thing to take a bunch of measurements. It's another thing to give you feedback and say you need to do this to improve yourself. How exactly, where's that feedback coming from?
So we built, on the software side, so we're going to build out the algorithms and coaching, and then if you're within a range based upon the pressure and the data and all the data, we collect, 4,000 to 5,000 data points every single time with something like this. So if you're within range on these certain data points that we're collecting, the algorithm's going to make a suggestion for you, and based upon that. Now, is it going to be absolutely 100% exact and tailored specifically to you? No, it's going to be within that micro range that we have on the algorithms. However, if you're working with an instructor, you can use that same information and say, hey, here's what the software is telling me. You know, am I doing this correctly? What do I need to adjust and fix on this? You could get some more personalized from that. But those ranges are pretty tight right now with the algorithm. Yeah. And then the more you play, the more you use it. We have the machine learning component that's taking all of your data and all of your rounds, and it's actually learning how you play and the things that you're doing and where you're making improvements. And with that information, it's going to make suggestions that are much more tailored and specific to you.
Will the device, if you're using the video part of it and you're taking all these measurements, can you play back and see the actual ball flight like some of the TrackMan and some of these existing devices do?
So the device can partner with other devices that you are using. So if you're using a ball flight tracking software or using a hardware device to track ball flight, it will pair with that, and that information will be brought in as well, because they're all doing Bluetooth communication with that. So we can pull that information in. If you're using, I use a Garmin watch typically when I play to track my distance and things like that. So it would pull a lot of that information in for you. So it's going to be very integratable into other devices that are currently on the market that are not specific to footwear.
And additional costs.
Well, you can get the mini tour subscription model for $15 a month.
Charles, how, when you're taking all these measurements, you started off with this, all the injuries that are occurring in golf. So what is it that it's doing to tell you, oh, get the golf component now. You're going to injure yourself if you keep swinging like that. So how is it stopping the injury?
So with the software, it will give you some red flags, and those are the ones where we can build out a plus-up model on our software that if you have the base subscription, that you're going to be able to, you'll get that and say, hey, you have four red flags that are possibly going to cause an injury. Go ahead and get the mini tour subscription model, and we'll tell you what those 4 red flags are, right? And so we're going to be able to give you that information. So if you continue to do this, based upon what the data we're collecting and what we're tracking, if you continue to do this, you have the potential for a significant knee injury or hip injury or an ankle injury.
So it's going to give you some immediate or contemporaneous feedback that says you need to change something.
Exactly, yes.
How are you for time?
2 minutes and 41 seconds.
Two-part question.
Yes.
Where will the socks be manufactured? Will they be manufactured here or overseas?
The socks will manufacture here. Socks are very cheap to manufacture. I mean, it only costs maybe 20 or 30 cents to make a sock. And so we'll manufacture the socks here. There's a whole slew of factories over in Donaldsonville, Alabama. It used to be the sock capital of the world, and so we can manufacture there. We'll bring them in, and working with CM Solutions, we want to take our hardware and then we'll integrate the hardware onto the sock, and then we put the pressure sensors, we adhere those in as well. And then we'll package and ship them out.
So on the capital raise, the $500,000 for the fourth quarter, sorry to ask a real direct question, but you need that to be able to present in January? Or are you going to present in January at the PGA School or Super Show?
We're going to present in January anyway. We do have some proof of concept funding that we have that can build out enough inventory that we could show. Will we be able to fulfill an order at that point that somebody comes in and says we want 1,000 units? We wouldn't be able to do that if we don't have the $500,000 to build out the inventory, or there would be a 4-month lead time on that.
Okay, last question, sorry.
Mhm.
On your slide, you talked about a $5 million raise in late 2022. I'm thinking that's supposed to be 2023.
Yes, it's 2024.
2024 is a $5 million raise.
Or, I'm sorry, 2023, correct, yes. Because that's when we'll move into cash flow positive, and then that's when we would make that raise.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's your exit strategy?
To sell it. Yep. To TaylorMade, Cushman. There's a lot of major brands that are getting into golf tech. So there's not a lot of golf technology. There is like the tracking devices and things like that. But as far as improving overall performance using wearable technology outside of watches, it's a very new market in golf. And so there's a lot of interest from the companies like the Pings, the TaylorMades, Callaways, that they want to be able to get into this technical space because they can only sell golf clubs to people for so long. And so it's a $6 billion industry that is growing at around 14% every single year. And so the goal is to work with one of those companies and then be able to exit out through that process.
Quickly, you have patent protection,
Yeah, we do have a patent pending on both the hardware, and we'll be filing a patent when we launch the software. We have an alpha version of the software, but we'll need to file a patent on some of the user interface design patents and things like that. I have 7 seconds for a last one.
So the algorithm have the ability to learn an individual's swing.
Yes. Yep. And I'm out of time. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.